For 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Bart Gordon, Subcommittee Chairman Dave WU, Mr. Mitchell, Chairman Thompson, my friend who's not here today on the other side, Peter King. They all deserve recognition as partners in this quest to get people's attention on the most neglected side of the public safety equation, our firefighters. This legislation, we think, is unique. We had a difficult time in the beginning when this legislation, we were writing this legislation. It took about 2.5 years. We had about enough people to fit in a telephone booth. And then we brought the firefighters to Washington, and all of a sudden we had over 280 sponsors. In the 106th Congress, prior, as the former speaker just pointed out, to 9/11. That Fire Act passed. It had bipartisan support. There was no federal support for our brave firefighters, be they career or volunteer. They're working with outdated equipment. Some places in the country that have pushed the equipment to the fire, literally. They couldn't get the necessary training in order to provide the best protection for the local communities. And the one thing we made sure we took care of is that there would not be a differential. There will not be a firewall, so to speak, between the volunteers and the career. If you look at the grants of the first 5 or 6 years, there is an over-preponderance of volunteer departments because we did not want to make this what so many bills in the past had happened. And I might add this, Mr. Speaker, this money goes directly to the communities, no skimming, no nonsense. $6.5 billion, both of these bills, the SAFER bill, which deals with our personnel, in 9 years. Over $15 billion requested. We're far from even close to responding to the needs that existed before 9/11. This legislation, in its ranking and review, the fire grant program itself received the second highest rating of any program in the Department of Homeland Security. The only agency that beat it out by 1 percentage point was the Secret Service. Since the inception of the Fire and Safer Grant, the programs have provided over, as I said, $6.5 billion for our local communities. And the point I want to make here is that the fire grant programs are as vital and necessary today as they were in 2000. 30 seconds. Minute, 30, 10 seconds, whatever.
Recognized for an additional minute.
Thank you. I've always said that real homeland security starts on the streets of our local towns and not in the hallways of Washington. I truly believe these fire grants awarded to local municipalities are key to our homeland security infrastructure. Today we have a great step, we move a great step towards furthering that commitment. And just today, Mr. Speaker, on the West Lawn outside the Capitol, firefighters, police officers, construction workers who responded at 9/11 gathered to hear what the Congress was going to do to respond to what had happened at 9/11. We salute them. We've had 2 major studies from Mount Sinai Hospital in New York. The all clear should not have been given to these people who worked in hazardous situations. We can, again, down the road, pass legislation to help these guys and gals that have suffered the consequences of them responding mostly voluntarily. I yield back the rest of my time, and I thank all of those who participated today.
Gentleman's time has expired.